Hi, I'm Fran, the Client Development Specialist from Lánluas. Thank you for taking the time to join our Insight session today. I'm joined by Bernard O'Brien, the Lánluas Country Manager for UK and Ireland, and we're excited to share with you some valuable insights on how Lánluas is making a tangible difference for TechnologyOne customers like yourself in the UK and Ireland. So before we dive into the question, Bernard, do you mind just introducing yourself for the audience today?
Yeah, of course, Fran. My name is Bernard O'Brien. I'm the UK and Ireland country manager for Lánluas. I've been on board with Lánluas about 2 to 3 years now, and really enjoying the role. I've spent some 10 plus years working in the UK, and then prior to that in Australia and Asia Pacific, about 20 to 30 years in the software and consulting business.
Amazing. A large and
Mm.
vast amount of experience in the industry. So we'll dive straight into the questions and
Mhm.
let's hear about some insights from the UK and Ireland region right now. So, Bernard, we've been partnering with clients in the UK and Ireland since 2022. Can you tell me what the most
Mhm.
common challenges and pain points that you've seen for TechnologyOne customers?
Yes, Fran, what we've been experiencing is about 4 to 5 main areas that clients need to focus on or need to have assistance in. Perhaps the most important one to start with is really preparing their own teams and their own end users for the change that is coming. Because, of course, typically clients and organizations do a major implementation like this once every 20 years, maybe even further. So there isn't really recent experience in preparing the teams to make the change. What they need to do in order to make the change is to really understand the new terminology, processes, and structures of the T1 system in comparison to the legacy systems. They need to develop test scripts and prepare their environments. A challenge they do have is really getting the T1 experience from consultants such as ourselves in the time frame that they need, because of course they typically run to go live dates of either a year to a year and a half to 2 years out from when they acquire the technology. Often also, and you can imagine why this would happen, clients and users can be quite comfortable with the reports and methods of how they go about their work, and in particular, dashboards and reports and management reports. And of course, with a new system, their reports and ease of use. And lastly, one thing that can be not so much missed out, but challenging as well, is developing and testing interfaces to third-party systems such as automated accounts payable systems.
That's interesting. Thank you so much for sharing. Would you be able to tell us a little bit more about preparing their teams?
Yes, so as I mentioned, often these clients have had their systems for 20 to 30 years, and for different reasons, it happens in the software world, these systems have reached their technical end of life. So end users, systems managers, a familiarity with that legacy system, and then transition to T1 represents an opportunity, but sometimes a steep learning curve as well.
Yeah, and 20 to 30 years for an installed system is a really long time. So, are there any strategies or methods that they could use when helping, say, the team or the organization move from, say, a legacy system to a TechnologyOne system?
Yes, some of the approaches they could take is almost like a two-phase level of training. One is an initial level of training to understand the terminology, the architecture, the processes, etc. And then once they've digested that to a degree, the second stage of training could really be doing some implementations and testing, which really challenges some of the end users to get their hands around what they should be doing. So often we come in the second phase of training because we're a bit more hands-on and make sure that interfaces or reporting or process flows actually work.
Thinking about strategies, we often find that clients want to reduce risk, extract value, and build capability. Which of these do you think is most prevalent for our clients in the UK and Ireland at this moment in time?
Yeah, I think they're probably in that order. A most critical objective, especially in a regulated environment such as it is in the UK and Ireland, is to reduce risk and be confident will be done, audit requirements will be satisfied, and of course they don't blow the budget. Certainly with our local government clients, really very, very sensitive because there is quite a ceiling, if you will, on funds that they can bring in and also how they can dispose of those funds. So it's quite fundamental. Additionally, and this is perhaps I say different to a degree in the UK and Ireland compared to Australia and New Zealand, the GDPR legislation that came in about 2013 or 14 is quite strict and very good. So it does mean, of course, that our clients have to ensure that their data is not corrupted, their implementation timelines are realistic, and they can be monitored and managed. And of course, the financial reporting is accurate when they need to present it to the auditors or any government.
That's a crucial point. Thank you so much for sharing. So thinking then about reducing risk, and you mentioned that was the most important out of the three things that clients look to achieve. Share any specific measures or best practices you've also recommended to your clients to ensure data integrity and implementation and timelines?
Yes, in terms of data integrity, that's very important. We do quite a sophisticated process of testing interfaces, testing reports, testing, of course, balances, and ensuring that they come out at the end of the monthly cycles accurately. And of course, the testing procedure, we actually really want to find problems. That's the whole idea. So curiously, we are looking for problems and, in a sense, satisfied when things go wrong in the testing stage. That's proven to be very useful for us. Some of the other aspects as well is that in terms of enhancing the capability, what we can do, of course, is build quite sophisticated dashboards. And of course, those dashboards being visual usually have great appeal to the end users as well. So that's an important aspect in terms of not so much reducing risk, but building capability and acceptance of a new system.
Definitely, and financial reporting and reports and dashboards are crucial and something that a lot of clients, not just in the UK and Ireland, are looking for. It's also over in Australia and New Zealand as well. So thinking about our clients, could you tell us a little bit more about the types of clients that we've partnered with?
Yeah, sure, Fran. Our clients are local government, higher education, and commercial organisations. A distinction with the local government, though, of course, the UK and Ireland have a two-tier government system, whereas Australia's three-tier with your state and local councils. So the council tier in the UK is actually bigger in terms of sphere of responsibilities. They really do have a lot on their plate in terms of managing all the assets and service delivery for their clients. That they have, I'll say, greater needs and perhaps expectations of the systems, and particularly from their clients and constituents. And the higher education, interestingly, it's such an important part of the UK economy, and as probably everyone knows, the Oxford and Cambridge universities are highly respected, and there's probably I'd say 50 to 100 higher education thought of around the world. They, of course, raise much of their funds from foreign students, so almost they're a substantial business in their own right as well, from what you might think of such as a normal higher education organisation. Both of those points about the local government having great responsibilities and broad responsibilities, and higher education here being substantial universities, do require a lot of assistance and guidance in terms of meeting their requirements for audit responsibilities, and also confidence in switching over, as it were, from their legacy systems to the new T1 system.
Amazing. So now our audience knows a little bit more about the types of clients that we partner with. I'm sure they're eager to hear about some recent success stories that you have, and then maybe the benefits that they've experienced from engaging with our services.
Sure, I could help you with that, Fran. In fact, we just recently did a case study, which has, I think, been distributed already on Newport Council, a council in the south of Wales, an organisation that had a legacy Oracle financial system for 20 plus years. And again, that was moving to its end of life. they really needed assistance in developing a reporting suite that really effectively mirrored their existing and much loved system for the users. And what we were able to do is put together management and financial reports that both mirrored that system, but also utilized some of the best that Tier 1 has to offer. That was quite critical in terms of gaining user acceptance. As well with them, we did, I'll say, a first in terms of the T1 environment of tackling an integration which was lacking between the T1 general ledger and the AR modules as well, which was starting to roll out to other clients. And that was a real issue for them because it was very difficult to reconcile some of the reports and balances in the T1 general ledger at that particular point.
And thank you for sharing about Newport City Council and thinking about the success that we've achieved together working with the council. Before we got to these successes, what were some of maybe the macro challenges that these clients or Newport City Council faced?
There's probably two things that the councils face. They have I'm pretty sure this is right, a 5% effectively their rates and fees to their constituents. And that's pretty tight because inflation, at least in the UK, was running at between 6 and 9% for the last few years. So it's just a terrible squeeze on the councils in terms of what they can provide for the funds that they have coming in. So what we're aiming to do with these systems is try to make them as efficient as possible in order for them to identify any particular cost savings that they might be able to get out of the new system. And of course, these systems need to be audited and reported on, because again, that's quite firm. And we're able to assist the councils with doing some of the reporting and audits, which we've done with a number of other clients as well.
And those challenges we're seeing not only just in the UK, but also within Australia and New Zealand too. So it's reassuring to hear that the challenges that councils and other customers are facing are ones which we have great insight and expertise in, experience in helping to overcome. So moving forward with the challenges, are there any other success stories that you can share with us helping them to overcome challenges?
Yeah, probably the main thing I would say, Fran, is that often clients potentially underestimate the challenges they have, especially in terms of T1 is and the timeframes that they can achieve their cutover. And so where we've been involved is often with large higher education institutions in London, giving them some guidance in terms of how they should configure different aspects of the system, what their expectations should be, testing and such like. So that brings them confidence to move forward to a go live date. We have one very large organisation we're working with now where they really didn't have confidence to go live earlier this year. However, they're now tracking quite well. And the main reason for that is the degree of expertise that our offer to their clients and therefore the degree of confidence those clients subsequently get.
Brilliant. And finally, Lánluas supported application service, so our Lánluas SaaS, is proven to be popular here in Australia and New Zealand, and it's something that's emerging now within the UK. Could you tell our audience a little bit more about the offering and what our clients are saying about the service?
Yeah, sure, Fran. We have a client who's in effectively the property management, asset management business. And what often does happen with our clients, they do have pretty small IT support teams. And what we were asked to do is provide T1 expertise and support. So we've been quite successful with that client, and they we've been able to assist them with reconciling some technical issues, some configurations, and some interfaces as well. So making sure that the T1 system starts to run or operate quite smoothly.
So thanks for sharing the unique insight on the UK and Ireland perspective for the Lánluas SaaS. For those watching that may want to know more about our services and how we can help them overcome some of the challenges that you've shared from, say, long-standing legacy systems, understanding new processes, or even getting that TechnologyOne experience in the time frame that they need, how can they do that?
Sure. Yeah, something that we've been doing for a while now, both in the UK and in Australia and New Zealand, is performing what we call a systems health check. It typically takes about 5 days, and not necessarily 5 days in a week, but it might be over a couple of weeks. And what that does is it assesses the status of the implementation, identifies issues, and concludes with a report and recommendations. It tells the client where their exposures are and where the improvements are, so they could drive some return on investment from their implementation. That works pretty well and gives them also some comfort when they need to produce a report perhaps to their executive on the health of the system and the actions they're taking about it to make it robust and something that they can use into the future.
Agreed. A documented report is really useful for providing clarity and direction and helping them to continue on that journey to improvement. So thank you for your time and that you shared on the current market insights. I'm sure it's going to be invaluable to our audience. For those that are watching and wanting to take advantage of our services to drive their TechnologyOne investment like your current clients have, how can they do that?
Well, the most straightforward thing is to get onto our Lánluas UK website and send me a note and reach out to the team. All the details are there, and we'll be in touch very quickly.
Perfect. Thank you for that, Bernard. What we'll do as well is we'll share your email address for everyone as well, so they'll be able to either contact by the website or pop you across an email directly.
Great. Sounds good. Been great talking to you, Fran.
Yeah, been great talking to you too, Bernard. See you soon now.